Okay, long time no see. So, it's been long enough actually that I'm pretty sure all my old videos have been scrubbed. They are backed up on YouTube, but I wouldn't bother going digging. Basically, I had attempted a campaign. It went horribly. Well, not horribly, but my ships were so ineffective that I was pretty much fighting the whole war with just fortresses, which sucked because I was getting nailed on both sides by white flares and lightning hoods. Eventually decided to just do an overhaul and start clean. So this is where we're at. I've more or less perfected as much as it's going to get. A handful of light vessels, mostly alloy and reinforced decking. This is the Dire Tide. It's a fast skirmishing ship. The previous version had like a cannon broadside, but this gives her much better accuracy, firing angles. It can fight anti-air targets, and I've also been able to increase the speed. It averaged like 32 meters per second before. It's up to about 47. So a problem I used to have was white flares would overtake me and shred me. So ships were just worthless because I couldn't get away. Got the Weeper pattern. It's just a handful of missiles. Also a skirmishing ship, just a little punchier than the Dire Tide. The Rainmaker, more of a long-range bombardment. Get all the small missiles go up, one turn, land on their deck. Then the EO-class ships, I did kind of go for a cannon broadside. It's not that impressive. I think these are all the 64-pounders. Probably won't use this one much. I turreted a bunch. It looks jokes, but at least then it can shoot above its deck line. And the Remediator. So it's got torpedoes that double as sonars. Well, not. It has a sonar down here. They're sonar just send the sonar signal to distract enemy torpedoes. With anti-air turrets, anti-cram turrets. Really ought to put a muzzle brake on that. Munition warners. Has the extra detection suite. They all have coincidence rangefinders, laser rangefinders, and cameras. This one has the sonar and munition finders and radars. Can send that information to other vehicles. And it has a lot of cargo capacity, fleet repair, and self-repairability. So this one just kind of hangs out in the back, covers us against any big threats, and reinforces the fighting line. That's all we've got for now for ships that I'm happy with. Probably should have loaded these in advance. Similarly, I've redone my fortifications. And have focused more on building for their role. So this is what we started with, just kind of a mix of omnidirectional turrets. But actually just some small missiles, detection suite. And it was just kind of a basic drop them in groups, and I mean they did all right. Again, not so great against white flares. They didn't have the firepower to send them off. They're vulnerable to big shells. Their small profile is about the only thing they had going for them, but they're so compact inside, I don't think there's a single empty space that anything that shoots to the interior, like shape charges, just wipes it out. Kind of the same problem with the pyramid. So that's why I came up with these supporting anti-cram. Have a couple of those around so the big shells won't bother us. Missile variant. And the whole top half of the pyramid spins, so that's to kind of make up for, as opposed to a fixed axis like this. Not so much with the full-size pyramid. I've doubled the guns over what it used to have, pretty much. Added in some shields over the... Is that right? Yes, shields over the holes, because technically there's a hole in the armor where this goes through. The old versions had a bad problem of a lucky shot would go through inside, hit the ammo, cause a chain reaction, wipe it out. I've cut that down a lot. The big corner guns are periscoped pretty well against that. Has more detection than before, better guns than before. And it is sloped heavy armor with 4 meters of metal behind it, so I didn't go fancy layers with spacing and wedges. So it's still somewhat vulnerable to piercing, but that's why I have these to screen off the big ones that do that. I also cut the cost down quite a bit. It's like 26,000 versus 18,000, 12,000, and 16,000 for the equivalent combat role. So everything is better, cheaper, faster, more effective offense. Just doing quest for Neater. Might as well go medium. At least this time I'll get to see for sure about my starting position. Yes, so I guess starting positions are fixed based on difficulty. I'm wondering if my neighbors are the same.
Receiving.
I do not need you. Oh, I guess I did forget to throw my satellite into the build menu. Yeah. Good enough. I'll keep those there for now because I don't have anything equivalent.
Listening.
Why isn't he taking off?
Listening.
What the fuck? Is it slowly going now?
Receiving. Listening.
It's needed some time to build up. Off you go. Kind of not much I can do at the moment, but hang out, gather some resources. Once I see who's around me, see who I'm going to go and titty twist.
Receiving. Listening. Receiving. Listening.
This doesn't seem like he's going up very high. That is not how that was operating before.
Listening. Listening.
Also,
Listening.
his AI button is missing. Oh, there it is. His AI has been scrubbed. There we go. That is all I wanted.
Receiving.
Still white flares. Good thing that's who I prepared for this time around. And still lightning hood. So everything is about same as my last run.
Receiving.
I was also trying, based on how the last campaign went, trying to storm the Gorgon. I was trying to make a very small, fast boarding craft. I'm not sure I've really worked out the kinks. Roommate's the one who bullied me into getting on campaign again, and I think he is asleep.
Receiving.
Just being able to see where I'm going, though, is a hell of an improvement over last time.
Receiving. Receiving.
Maybe too soon for that.
Receiving. Receiving.
I have to wait and make sure they're actually gassed up this time, because the problem I had before was they burn up quite a bit of fuel going the pace they do. Oh, shit. And I kind of kept choking myself off, having not enough resources to maintain my momentum.
Receiving. Receiving.
Now, I do still have some AI issues with the steering, less so than it was. Usually if I get them from a stop position, start it gently myself, let the AI take over, it will more reliably drive. They still do have a bit of a heavy foot with the gas and the brakes otherwise. So I'm just going to have to really babysit my battles to start. Probably until I have a more solid class of ship available to me. Another common theme with the last round of the campaign was most of my economy based on me boarding the enemy ships and then scrapping them, which I outrageously tipped the balance in my favor against the light flares initially doing that. Shit, now they're moving.
Receiving. Moving now.
Can you actually hear me this time? Don't tell me I've just been narrating to myself for the last 10 minutes, because I see the mic bar going. I wised up to that manually sliding issue, and now I've just hotkeyed my mic, so. Be gone. This asshat. Did what I think just happened? White flares are seeking reprisal. What did I do? Well, so the fun news is I started out in the same place I was before, so I get to burn down the Catholic Church all over again. And this time being a bit more wary that the lightning hoods and the flares before became allies. So it doesn't look like they are yet. Hopefully that means they won't come stab me in the back quite so soon.
Moving now. Moving now. Moving now.
Yeah, I've got the satellite up already. It's the exact same setup as before. White flares up here, lightning hoods. Those are the guys that had that big laser firing submarine I ganked last time, right to the south of me, so. At least I'm already familiar with where I want to go, which is taking High Loran. Seems like a nice defensible area I can build up around. I got enough for another one of these.
Receiving.
Incidentally, the heretics are also pissed at me to start, so.
Receiving. Moving now. Moving now.
Gonna have to start saving up for a Rainmaker because these guys aren't gonna be able to knock out those turrets. Based on my previous experience. Actually, a Weeper would probably do it. It has bigger missiles. Oh. We gonna get to see our first scrap? It's a Charger.
Receiving.
Well, I'm at half materials, and he's a higher class than me, I believe, so this should be fun. And he's got reinforcements, that's even better. Harasser. Is that a flyer?
Receiving. Receiving.
Yeah, he's just gonna follow me around. Sucky. Fuck. I'm not as brisk as I thought I was. But at least I can hit him from any angle. So. Here's a question for the audience. Why am I still on this boat? Well, it all looked like it was going to pan out in the test run. They probably have extra jets on them. Let me in. Of course, now without a support ship, my guy is totally bunk. I just fried his engine. Oh, speed 64. This is the speed 47 one. So I haven't even fought the one I could have outrun yet. Every time I think I've got something going for me, they one-up me. Oh, what the hell that was. Okay. Was that the suicide bomber we saw last time? Did he just have a bunch of nukes on that stick in front? Well, he blew up pretty dramatically with hardly any firepower going towards him.
Receiving.
The problem is, and I've taken the chance to go through the internals for some of these enemy ships out in designer mode, and ones like the Buzzsaw, they've got pretty big engines and steam engines with a combination of propellers and jet thrusters. That's why they're so fast, because then they can boost themselves with jets.
Receiving. 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 Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Receiving. Receiving.
Looks like my best bet will still be to try and capture as many enemy ships as possible.
Receiving.
Now he can fuel the repairs for the others. Yeah, but my Dingies can actually reasonably fight back at half the price, so
Receiving. Moving now.
no regrets. They have a performative advantage for at least a bunch of the skirmishes we're going to have, but it's not going to be a complete rollover like it was last time.
Receiving.
And they sure like to deploy really close as often as they can.
Receiving. 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 Receiving.
Oh yeah, this is me being a cheapskate all the way.
Receiving. 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 Taking command. Receiving. Taking command. Receiving.
So we got a medium missile turret here. And two guys covered in auto cannons. Here's the guy doing what it does best. A couple of my ships almost drove. One of them I think is still going. And because it's missiles, he doesn't need a direct line of fire so much. Not sure what... Oh, actually, oh, there it is. This is pretty abnormal for a white flare ship not being on top of me already. And what the hell are you doing?
Turning off.
Bravo. Bravo. And, oh, this one's actually up. See, now I'm averaging 48 to 46 over my previous 32. I could touch up to 50 if I'm on an angle. So that's about on equal speed with most of their lower stuff. Lower to mid. Again, I barely have any vehicles that cost as much as theirs, so...
Receiving. Moving now.
At 100k, I'll add a remediator. And that'll help supply and repair them.
Receiving.
Otherwise, once they get hurt, they stay hurt.
Receiving. 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 Receiving.
Cool. actually very stable most of the time. Or so I thought. Well, they still sunk them. If that isn't an asshole design. Incidentally, jet engines don't work underwater.
Receiving. Turning on.
Have I lost all propulsion on this? Yes, almost. No, there's no ship controller.
Moving now.
Anywho.
Receiving. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now.
As expected, they are going to be constant.
Receiving. Receiving. Receiving.
That kind of feels like such a waste after that big endurance test from the last campaign, just to start over. You know I'm going to have to do the same thing again.
Receiving.
Didn't actually pick up the salvage. I don't know what that's about.
Receiving.
I also don't know why that's not going up. Last time I was able to adjust it pretty high. Ugh.
Receiving.
This'll have to do. Oh. Decent. Hello, Fearsome Frank.
Receiving.
Just in time to watch me get my butthole stretched. Oh, right, shit, yeah. The controller's gone on this one. And I didn't actually think that crossfire would work.
Receiving. Moving now. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now.
I don't know why they're not picking that stuff up. They gotta be in play.
Receiving. Receiving. Receiving.
I don't get it. Or is it because we're all full? So, oh, okay, that's why.
Receiving.
Be a good time to have a cargo ship to keep all that.
Receiving. Moving now. Moving now.
Well, it's not like that was one of their impressive ships either.
Receiving. Moving now.
This is their little village. I don't have quite enough yet to bomb it completely out. Another Reaper.
Receiving.
Actually, just between these 4 ships, it'll take a while, but maybe they can clean that out. Just their turrets were pretty sturdy last time. turrets also didn't shoot back, so it was like killing a baby in its cradle, basically.
Receiving.
And for real this time, now I'm saving up for a remediator, because I am going to need that cargo capacity.
Receiving.
Yeah. In hindsight, I'm not sure I even actually remember seeing detection equipment on those turrets, though. Or if they did, it was like a 90-degree camera, so they were only staring straight forward and didn't realize I was parked beside them.
Receiving.
It's like, look.
Turning off.
So, on these ships, I've got coincidence rangefinders on the interior, which is like a 90-degree camera looking out the sides to track range and bearing. I've got a 360-degree camera up here to also look up and around. And I've got a laser rangefinder tracker. So usually the more detection gear the better. And then the mid-sized class also has additional radar and sonar on it. But if they don't have the adequate detection equipment to figure out where I am, then even if they did try and shoot at me, they'd probably miss most of their shots.
Moving now. Moving now. Moving now.
Oh no, I'm waiting for you to fill up when you can just do that over here.
Receiving. Receiving. Moving now. Moving now.
Yes.
Moving now. Moving now. Receiving. Receiving.
Frank, what's the news at work?
Receiving. Moving
How's
now.
Donald Trump's shadow presidency going?
Moving now.
What's Ada saying?
Receiving. Receiving. Receiving.
Yeah, most of these don't even have a way of fighting back.
Receiving. 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 Receiving.
Yes, he's broken enough not to even have an AI.
Receiving.
Uh-huh. We can. If you've got the volume on the screen on, Frank, if you could put on headphones, because I find otherwise my audio will be playing back to me through the speakers while you talk, and then it's going to get really crazy.
Receiving. Turning off. Receiving. 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 You're in control.
Did we win? Howdy do.
How did you? There's no back volume, is there?
Nope.
Perfect.
So what have I been missing out on?
Huh?
What have I been missing out on?
Oh, dude. So, all of Canada is suffering a part shortage of the actual, like, computer chip that goes in the cars. So, literally, like, all vehicle manufacturing plants, like, all over Canada, are closing down next week, including Cami and us.
Is that an actual thing or is that a Mott thing?
No, that's an actual thing. They gave a whole. They had a meeting about it.
I kind of feel vindicated because as far as Steph carrying on about me being a slacker goes, I feel like, oh, all the plants are shutting down regardless. Is like a pretty compelling argument.
Yeah, no shit.
I think Kurt said you had like 2 weeks left that you were expecting, right?
Yeah, next week was supposed to be my last week, but I talked to Christine today, and
You're in control.
Ovi's, you know Ovi's hand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't work
it's
out for going back on the line.
yeah, it's still too hurt. It's still not ready, so he's got to wait another week.
Doesn't that just figure?
Mm-hmm. I think I may have stole that from Bree too, because she was literally telling me the one day she goes, "Yeah, I got another extra week because OB's not ready to go on the line yet." And then literally like the next week, which is today, I asked Christine, and she said that that was the reason why I probably got the spot.
I mean, it's not stealing if you've got seniority over her.
Oh, I know, but she's probably gonna be pissed.
Unrelated to the call, what the hell just happened there? I'm starting to second guess what kind of missiles I have here.
So you're on?
I'm on what? Because yeah, I was expecting, like, they offered me to extend by a week. And I figured the way it had been going initially after Christmas break that they were going to offer again. And then I would have gotten more offers through the following week that I was off. And now it's like, what, Friday of my second week off, and I haven't heard anything since I was there. Well, on the other side, besides when I was talking to you and Kurt the other day, and I was filled in that Bogaki's back online and whatever.
Oh yeah.
Probably Wayne from Knights is back off his holidays.
Yeah. What was that?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you're famous now. Congratulations.
Oh really? I like it.
Yes, JJ. Being that I am not wearing headphones, I knew that he would be coming through on the same sound channel on my computer as the rest of it. I just thought you'd be delighted to hear his voice.
Absolutely. Who wouldn't be? Oh.
So, for having so much more firepower, this isn't going much faster. And in fact, one of my ships has hurt themselves worse than they came into this.
Moving now.
Wow, what the heck, dude?
Moving
Shit in
now.
the bed, are we?
Moving now.
Get better stuff, Carl. Get better stuff.
I can't afford better stuff.
Well, do it anyway.
I don't have those GME stonks in this game.
Well, you're gonna have to get some from these burning ass houses.
Those missiles are acting weird. They're not supposed to be torpedoes. I guess they're just running out of lifespan and running out of thruster fuel before they get to the target.
I was gonna say they aren't really hitting it much. Like they're not doing much.
Yeah, they're like bouncing off the ground.
Yeah.
This model isn't supposed to be a long-range fighter, though. That's why I originally wanted my, like, artillery version.
Mm.
Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now.
any materials I salvage from this village are just gonna not even replenish all the ammo I put into it.
Yeah, dude, you're really blasting ammo for how small of a place that is.
I mean, the autocannons are cheap, but they're cheap to operate.
Oh, and as for Mott's nonsense, yeah, he's talking about like how like currently today, what I heard was him, or not today, yesterday. He was talking about how at the Super Bowl this year, it's going to be revealed all the plots and shit that's happened among the world and all these evil, heinous crimes and all this stuff, and that all the celebrities that we think are dead are going to appear in the front row at Super Bowl,
And the
like at the
celebrities we
halftime
don't
show.
think are dead are gonna be revealed to be imposters.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Body doubles, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I just
That's
figured
literally what he says.
with this news about like with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jewish space lasers and shit, I figured he'd have something to say about that.
Well, I haven't heard anything about that, but he is going off about how like it's Suicide Week or Suicide Weekend or something, and how like all the people that did all these heinous crimes are gonna start like stepping down from high ranked positions and like killing themselves and stuff like that. And one of the biggest ones he was talking about was Jeff Bezos or whatever it is, stepping down as from Amazon.
Oh, Jay, he's not on drugs. He's violently psychotic. And yes, we have reported him to HR for other things in the past because, like, he goes all the way with his rhetoric. He's flat Earth. He's Hillary Clinton is a child-eating satanic lizard. Everything, and he fully believes it. And he will spend hours and hours a day, every day, for what I assume is the last 16 years, standing around telling everyone within earshot about how they're sheep, they're plugged into the Matrix. We're living in the Bible's end times, etc., etc. So
Oh yeah, he can't stop going on about that.
every shitty ass QAnon hot take that has ever been prescribed, he lives by it. He's like doing some kind of fucking aerobic ninja training in his living room with
Dude,
a ball
Ninja
katana
Star,
and 5-pound
Star-
weights for the upcoming race wars. It's fucked.
Ninja Stars, man. He's
Yeah.
fucking talks about his Ninja Stars all the time and all of his knives.
He'll fucking take your eyes
And
out.
dude, like the whole like group aspect that you assumed is definitely true. He talks about it just openly now.
Oh, I know.
He's just like, yeah, the groups that I follow, like he does a fucking quotation as he says it. It's the stupidest shit ever.
You can say Parlor Mott. It's not a secret cult. Like, it's not some secret organization. Although if it was, that'd be pretty ironic because then they'd be exactly what they're claiming to fight against.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's not Parlor anymore. It's whatever. Maybe they migrated back to Facebook after that got deplatformed. They're just on quieter groups about it.
Oh, Chiron. Chloe hurt her foot, man.
No.
Yeah, man. The precious pooch hurt her foot.
Kissing the
Freaking,
daughter didn't work?
Moving now.
no, sadly.
Moving now.
She was playing outside. Well, I guess we were playing outside, and we're just playing fetch. She was running around. I didn't even notice it, but there was blood like all over the snow. I didn't even notice it. And came inside. Sure enough, there was blood on the ground. Looked at her paw, and you know how they had like the pads on their feet.
Yep.
The one that's a little higher up. She ripped that one like almost clean off. We had to go to Emerge
Moving now.
and get them to check it out. They stitched it back up.
Sounds like the
Freaking
shit my friend's boxer does.
$518. What'd you say?
Sounds like the shit my friend's boxer does.
Dude, it sucks.
She gets too
I
carried
really,
away and she like breaks her claws right off and like flinging a bloody wick around
Oh.
while she plays, bashing her head into trees, just going wild.
damn, dude. Yeah, this is the first time Chloe's actually hurt herself while playing fetch.
Receiving.
I got no idea though. But she's getting better. She's got to wear cones. She hates that. Oh, it's funny as shit watching her though, because she bumps into everything.
Pig basically lives in a cone even now that she's recovered because she won't leave her feet alone. She's got like some neurological thing about chewing on her feet. And as of last Friday was our first time actually getting her to play with a toy. Like my sister was over, got her worked up, gave her the red ball we have, and she actually chewed on it for like 40 minutes. And then,
Wait, like the red thing that I gave you?
yeah. So
Oh, hell yeah.
Steph had picked her up a couple other toys, and we found out she likes a couple of them sometimes. So a few days later, we were able to work up to a point where she got chewing on a toy again, and she was at it for like an hour and a half. So,
Damn.
but then like other days, she just goes right back to her feet. So like she starts the morning in a cone. I'll go upstairs at some point. I'll try to take it off. See if I like let her out. See if I can't get her in a playful mood. Sometimes that works if you work her up until she's like pawing and trying to bite you. Sticks something in her mouth and then she chews on it. And then other times
Damn.
she doesn't even make it like not even 2 minutes before she's back to trying to munch her paws. Where the hell are those missiles?
Wow, she's really got something with her paws, dude. What the heck?
As far as I'm concerned, it's like the kind of thing that should have been weaned out of her when she was a puppy, but she had zero training or discipline as a puppy. So now we're stuck with a
Yep.
5-year-old dog with brain damage trying to cannibalize herself obsessively. And no matter what, like, I'm sitting with her. She goes for her paws. No, I have to push her head away. Goes for paws. No, push her head away. And I can do that pretty much indefinitely. And it won't stick. She would need like around the clock attention and training to break the habit.
Yeah, at that point, I think it's nearly impossible.
We figured out the
Unless
butt
you,
dance
like-
she does.
Huh?
She does this butt dance. She basically wiggles like this. Not quite like scooting, more stationary. And sometimes she'll just like roll in circles like a weeble. And Steph figured out what it was, I guess because of the way her tail is nubbed and is like pressed really down against her rump. She had like old loose hairs and stuff up underneath the nub, and it was itchy. So now Steph has to like wipe the bit of ass between her tail and her booty.
Oh shit. That it sounds uncomfortable. Like fuck.
Her real daddy still hasn't said anything about when he wants her back either.
No, I was actually about to ask you about that too. I guess you guys are just keeping her indefinitely, just like I said.
Starting to look that way.
What are you doing? What is that? What are you doing?
What, who, me?
I'm not in the chat. I can't see what's in there. I just joined through Discord because I forgot about the whole Twitch stream. I was on Discord. My buddy or my brother was playing Apex, and I need an update for it. And I saw that you were streaming, and I went watch stream, and it went here. So
When, where? Like, on Discord or Twitch?
Discord.
I didn't think my Discord is connected to my Twitch. I don't know where.
It
on
worked. Unless there's a button that needs to be pushed to pop up the chat, is there?
I don't know what you're seeing. I didn't know you could access my Twitch through my Discord at all. It says streamer mode enabled at the top. But I've
Yeah,
never connected the
because
accounts.
you're streaming. It shows me your screen.
Like all of my screen, like right now, can you see Discord open?
I can't see Discord open. I can see the menu in the corner though.
Weird. Here, I'll just connect you to the actual stream.
I mean, you don't have to. I'm not going to be here for too much longer. I gotta go feed the dogs in a bit.
This is awkward.
Receiving.
What?
Oh, I spawned a satellite just to throw up into the atmosphere, and someone's trying to attack it already, even though I've got 4 ships for fighting right next to it. Oh, fuck, it's that submarine.
Receiving.
And that's all that's new. Nothing personal. Nothing you want to broadcast to the world.
What was that?
Nothing you want to broadcast to the world on the internet for eternal posterity.
Nah, nothing really, dude. Just hanging out, work. Gene and I are doing pretty good, so that's good.
Work for now.
Yeah, I am trying. Like I got a call in the morning, but I am trying at a new place. Oh, I guess that it would be something new. I'm trying at a new place tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next week, Monday.
My dad called me earlier today and kind of mentioned something, so I'll get more information from him and then see about forwarding it to you. It might be a temporary opportunity.
About what?
So he works for a retail chain, and he's like in management. I guess he was sent to fix up a store that is in serious disarray. And I guess it's the worst he's ever seen. Like, he's been over 30 years with different companies and has apparently never seen a store in such ruined, horrible shape as this one.
Damn.
So, and he thinks like the manager is stealing, and they found like a fuck ton of old merchandise hidden in the basement where the former assistant manager wasn't even allowed to go.
Huh.
So they're finding like just apparently everything that can go wrong with a business has. And he says he needs some help sorting it out, so.
Moving now.
Damn.
I told him to tell me more about it. Partly for the gossip and partly because I could be open to helping. Although it is in Waterloo, so I didn't get a chance to ask about what the commute plan was.
Receiving.
How far is Waterloo?
From London, about an hour.
Oh shit, that's a ways.
I know, because I know the store he was at before was Woodstock, and that's not so bad. Waterloo is
No, that's
more than doubling the drive.
You cannot have any of this. This will kill you. One of my dogs is trying to eat a chocolate.
I wish I knew how to actually do politics here. Well, I told my mom that Woodstock was only 10 minutes from Ingersoll. She's like, no, it's not unless you're speeding like crazy. Like, yeah, everyone goes 120. That's not weird.
Ha, everyone does not go 120. I go 100 very much.
Yeah, but you're also not on the 401.
Oh, true. On the 401, I'd be going 130.
Yeah, you'd look like an idiot going 100 on the 401. People
Yeah,
would be honking
hell
and
yeah,
swerving
especially in the
around.
Challenger.
But my mom is afraid of the 401 and like screams the whole way driving down it. So
Well, why is she so scared of the 401?
I don't know.
Hey, relax.
Listening. Moving out.
Get out of here. You guys can have this.
I'm starting to think I should have built my support ship first.
Uh-oh.
You probably still can't see chat. Jay says, if Kai can do 130 in a Ford Windstar, you can do 150 in a Challenger.
Oh, I did see that. Nice.
All right.
Dude, if I really want to just top the damn thing out, but I haven't gotten a chance to yet. Especially now in the winter. I don't trust going that fast right now. Especially without any winter tires.
Best part about this game, the sit and wait.
Why are you waiting or what?
So, my attack fleet is kind of banged up. There is a bunch of resources around, but my, cargo is all full on those ships, so I can't pick it up. So I'm trying to build a cargo and repair ship. But you can only harvest so many resources at a time, and I've already used up the buffer, so now it's like trickling through.
Oh.
This is on times 10 speed, and I'm getting like 1% out of every 10 seconds. And then I gotta let its actual hull fill up a little bit so it has enough engine power to get to the other fleet.
Yeah, man, you weren't kidding when you said this game was complicated. There's a lot to it.
I mean, just look at this mess. This is like the 7th or 6th or 7th version of this hull where I had to keep rebalancing where the propellers are, the hydrofoils to keep it stable, the controls, the AI. Am I getting the right amount of engine power without going overboard? How do I want to do the weapons? But just getting it to drive straight was such an ordeal.
Why is it on such an angle right now?
Because it's got a big old hole in it somewhere, probably.
Oh.
Or it's just because the AI is being stupid. It's me actively repairing it, so probably it had a hole in it. Most
Probably.
And hopefully these are the only ships I have such a hard time with because I was trying to go so light with them. So they're all made out of basically aluminum, not even real metal, and reinforced wood. So they're very buoyant, very light. And then they try to be very fast, which makes their controls wacky. They have very narrow hull undersides for being aerodynamic, but then they're prone to tipping, depending how you balance the weight. So hopefully as I move on to bigger ships, it'll be a lot more straightforward.
Receiving. Moving now. Receiving.
Alrighty, Kara. I gotta go feed the doggos.
Receiving.
Unsure if I'll be back. If I am, I'll let you know.
We give Chloe pets for me.
Pet stream, and I will. See ya.
Toodaloo. And then he was never seen again.
Receiving.
What the fuck was that? That was definitely a suicide bomber. That was a nuclear explosion.
Receiving.
Oh, well, more resources for them to drop, I guess. Probably.
Receiving.
Probably decided Frank was some agent of chaos and that he had to put an end to him.
Receiving. 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 Receiving.
Why you
Moving
not
now.
have material?
Receiving. Receiving. Receiving.
Oh no. Ooh,
Receiving.
he swerved.
Moving now. Moving now. Taking command. Receiving.
These are from lazy ass rockets. Next to sitting around waiting for things to build, this is my next favorite part of the game. That's why I was going to make a high-speed boarding craft. It's a nice chunk of resource.
Receiving. Moving now. 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 Moving now.
Finally payday.
Moving now. 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 Receiving.
Yeah, the shit I've heard at work, it's actually been, oh, it is a suicide bomber. It's been like relaxing not being there just to not listen to all the stupid shit.
Receiving.
Like, the guy is so bad that if we were in the States, forget HR, I probably would have reported him to the FBI at this point, some of the things that have come out of him. Not probably, I would have. We're basically waiting for him to come shoot up work. Don't tell me he actually hit my shit. Ooh. Goody.
Listening. Receiving.
Hero.
Receiving. Moving now.
No. Let's say fuck.
Receiving.
Yep. Some real sickos out there.
Receiving.
Where the fuck
Receiving.
do you think you're going?
Receiving.
Oof. They actually have a decent ship.
Receiving.
Oh, fuck. think my anti-airship would be reasonably cool with dealing with that aircraft. Fortunately, it does have a pretty long reload time.
Receiving.
Cool. I'm not even sure what is hurting me so bad here. Let's see that guy. Oh no.
Receiving.
Yeah, he has no drive.
Receiving.
Take two. No. Fuck.
Receiving.
Oh, my guys are all poked full of just enough holes that none of them are working right. Again, the problem with compact, fragile designs. Where's your guts? Oops. Okay then. I guess he actually got clipped by that thing. Is anyone able to fight it off? Not you. There we go, kind of. As long as I can focus on the parts of it that matters. And controls are gone on this guy. Decent. I mean, again, in the last campaign, these guys were totally helpless against that, so. At least I actually have boats that are doing fighting and winning. Not sitting here for 3 hours for my fortress to move across the map. Kind of feels like it's going to take that long to shoot this guy down, though. Who is he over?
Receiving.
You've got a turret. That's broken. Oh, there we go. We're not. I just wasn't close enough. Where the hell did it go? Definitely making a Rainmaker next.
Receiving.
Fixed yet? I happen to know this guy is also able to repair himself. Kinda wish that was going faster. Well, I'm going to be eventually. I've got a whole pipeline for carriers, cruisers, submarines, spacecraft. I am trying to lean away from things like airships, but that's also something that's eventually going to happen. Just because I can't not. So I guess the change in time of day means technically this battle has been going on for like going into the second day now. All I'm really missing is a seat and a steering wheel, and I could pull this guy over there. Embarrassing. Come up with omnidirectional bullet screens and missile turrets, anti-air guns, and this one damn flyer has me completely foiled. My favorite. Why wasn't this guy shooting? Not that it matters, because well, yeah, it actually worked. After losing another big chunk of ship.
Receiving. Moving now. Moving now. Receive. Moving now. Moving now. Receiving. Receiving. Listening. now. Listening. Moving now. Listening. Moving now.
What in the fuck? Yeah, I mean, I was gonna do a mobile mining ship, but it also kind of didn't really seem necessary.
Moving now. Receiving. Moving now.
I mean, the fortresses already can do the mining. And you've seen how slow mining goes regardless, so... Submarine would be a good call. It's something I need to do, because it would help a lot with all these guys.
Receiving.
I just kind of feel like it's going to be another thing where I'm going to have this big learning curve on how to get it to stay properly buoyant and level and actually moving around underwater without just crashing into things, because
Receiving.
even that super sub I looted in the previous campaign, it would basically just dive and jam its face into the dirt at the bottom of the sea and sit there.
Receiving. Receiving. Receiving.
Okay, so he's targeting number
Receiving.
one.
Receiving. 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 Receiving.
Cool. So I'll have this ship ready to run away while the others all gun into him.
Receiving. Receiving. Taking command.
And he immediately turned away.
Receiving.
I don't like it. Well, so that's his weak spot. A free 165,000 materials for my trouble.
Moving out. Receiving. Moving now. Moving now. Receiving. 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 Moving now. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. 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 Receiving. Moving now. Moving
And
now.
for some reason, those boats are able to go on land.
Moving out. Moving
At this
now.
rate, I'm going to need a second fleet just to carry all the resources I'm farming.
Receiving. Moving now. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Receiving.
Fucking
Moving now.
slow.
Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Moving now.
Alright.
Receiving.
I might as well send this guy back home so he can
Moving now.
fuel the fortresses.
Moving now. Moving now.
It really is, when you consider me trying to siege their headquarters before and not even being able to afford the gas to get into their territory.
Receiving. Receiving.
Now I have a competent fleet that's actually holding. I like it. Holding and staying supplied. What even was this? Buzzsaw? Could be a problem. Where is it? Well, he's way out there. I kept assuming those guys would spawn closer. You think he's nervous? In all my designer tests, I kept having those guys at like a third of this distance because I assumed they'd be trying to bum rush me. Like they did with the forts. Guess he's less cocky this time around. And rightly so. Seems legit.
Receiving. Moving now.
I am not hating this. Especially because I know I have to fortify for when these guys down here get sick of me beating up their friend. On the brink of war, although it doesn't seem to be depreciating too slowly.
Receiving.
Expensive ship for
Moving
so
now.
little resource that it can hold.
Moving now. Listening. Receiving. 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 Listening.
We will just get you on the go. But yes, it certainly looked like he pissed and farted and shitted his pants.
Moving now. Moving now. Receiving. Receiving.
And these guys should be able to retake the territories down
Moving
here.
now.
Oh.
Moving now. Moving now. Receiving.
I don't know what a lacerator is, but I bet it sucks. Still. Oh, fuck. That's nothing. Well, I didn't realize this ship was still so unassembled.
Receiving.
I mean, he deserves it for all the time he chainsawed the crotch out of my ships.
Receiving. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Listening. Moving moving now, moving now, listening, 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 listening.
Amusing for, you know, in a Schadenfreude kind of way, I guess. I'm stoked to, you know, try out a defense where they can't do that. Oh. This guy's probably gonna wreck himself trying to get the satellite. Nothing to see here.
Receiving.
Literally not even worth zooming in. It's just a satellite. Oh, I guess the map won't show anything else in the meanwhile, so...
Listening.
Wee. Oh. Goodbye. Where the hell did my camera just go? Oh. Okay then. I didn't realize that it lowered my altitude so much. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep steering right up to 3,000 meters till he can't chase me no more. Going to the moon! It's the atmospheric squeeze. Yeah, that's a suicide bomber. That is 100% what the tactical nuke explosion effect is. Well, I think it's funny when the in-game jihadists fail and just die meaninglessly. So, hey.
Listening.
I've considered making a suicide sub with harpoons and drills, but I don't think I can really justify it. It's a waste of materials to make a one-time thing that just throws itself away.
Receiving.
Kind of the full counter to what I'm trying to achieve. Well, I'm sure it'd be amusing. It's just not something I actually want to invest into. Well, this guy's repair bots are even working. Slowly.
Listening.
I am reasonably sure it costs more than 10k mats because each tactical nuke is 2,000. So assuming it has more than one to ensure that it's doing enough damage. It probably has 10,000 mats worth of just armament on it. Let's see. The fidget spinner is like 70-something thousand. That's what's attacking me now. 71,000.
Listening.
Whereas my satellite here, this is the funniest part about it, cost 3,500. It is literally incapable of doing anything except float there, and it just dupes them into just dying in heaps trying to reach it.
Listening. Listening.
So it gets dragged down to whatever altitude, I guess, for the purpose of the flight. No, it's still hovering at 3,000. Can't even hardly see that guy, he's so far below us. Here, we'll YOLO it. Or is he going to fall apart before I get to him? One of the factions is space-based and apparently uses a lot of weaponized satellites, orbital bombardment type shit. They're like the end game faction to fight. Round two. Oh, okay, he's done. I wish there was an auto-resolve besides just end battle, which, if you're blockaded, auto-destroys your units. If there was one that could actually try and calculate, or like a fast forward in a fight. I guess if it was auto-calculated, it would still just wreck my guy, because he has nothing.
Receiving. Receiving.
So we have that spot.
Moving now.
Sending all that back home. We're actually not bad. Not poorly off. Once this guy's 100%, I salvage this guy. That gives me 40,000 back. And I can buy another ship. Probably also be watching the time.
Receiving. Receiving. Moving out. Moving out. Receiving.
Well, this could be another payday. Let's figure out he's targeting this guy.
Receiving. 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 Receiving.
don't seem to be getting very far.
Taking command.
Okay. He did not last long at all. I would say for the most part, product is working as intended.
Receiving.
Wait, who's fighting now?
Receiving.
Eh?
Receiving. Moving now.
Must have been a bug.
Receiving. Moving now. Receiving.
I guess the downside of campaign is I can't take these guys out of play for the moment it takes to correct the AI.
Receiving.
Should also probably make a note of the fact that I can just take control and drive towards the target instead of jumping off and trying to swim to them every time. Being the ignorant nerd that I am. And excellent.
Moving now. Listening.
You're still not done, Jesus.
Moving now.
I mean, I kind of did start up with some. I took the Europa, the smaller hull, I stripped it down so most of the top half is gone and it's basically just a platform with a harpoon on the front. But I didn't spend a lot of time testing it to make sure it was actually working like I wanted.
Receiving.
And because it is still a big enough ship, like initially I was doing a little jet-powered ski basically. But because it is still a boat, I was going to wait until I had my bigger Jupiter pattern ship down and done. and then try to deploy it from
now.
there instead of just letting it go
Moving
itself.
now. Listening.
Cool. It's done.
Receiving.
And you go by.
Listening. Listening. Moving out. Listening. Moving out. Listening. Moving out. Listening. 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 Moving out. Listening. Moving out.
I think I'm decently defended here. You probably weren't here for, well, I guess I already know you weren't for the
Listening.
review, but you've come in the room and I already showed you how all of this was
Listening.
rebuilt. It's all the new type stuff. So one of these, 4 of the new turrets and 2 of the new anti-missile, anti-cannon turrets should be enough for most battles I could expect. You could do with a bit more altitude.
Listening. Moving out.
Fucking shit.
Moving out. Moving out. Moving out. Moving out.
I mean, the only thing to worry about is
Moving
that
out.
the lightning hoods, the guys to the south of me,
Moving
use
out.
laser weapons, so I don't really have a
Moving out.
defense against that. You can use smoke for that.
Moving out.
I'm not specifically geared for it, but I'm definitely not worried about the white flares, at least.
Receiving. Receiving. Moving now.
And yeah, I guess I also told you about how I figured out where the soft spot on the Gorgon is. So if I can get on board that, like I will steer straight at it and sacrifice one of my boats. Because that would be a big catch. 635 in its construction, another 400,000 in its hull. It's like 5 pyramids. Well, shit, no, like 3, but right, no, I said I was going to make a rainmaker.
Receiving.
Shut up. What in the hell is going on here? Oh, it's one of those guys. Yay. Thanks. I mean, I didn't get a look at what his cost was, but he didn't even kill anything. He did 23% damage off one ship and 3% off another. But I assume he just threw away quite a bit more than what it's going to cost me to fix.
Receiving.
So I'm thinking that's like a novelty build.
Receiving. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now.
That same guy. I mean, I guess, but if you're going to invest that much, you might as well just put the difference into the larger ships for better armor layouts and countermeasures and armaments so that the ships can just fight better. I know people use disposable drones too, like they'll put sonar radar detection gear onto missiles or drones and then send them out or fire the missiles with the radar attached. So it's like a disposable extended detection system. But again, I'm not sure. Like aside from doing really long range siege ships,
Receiving.
that's probably unnecessary. Ooh, another guillotine. Don't mind if I do.
Receiving.
Ooh, I didn't realize my materials were that low. Again, though, I'm inexperienced enough and I haven't done real battleships yet to
Receiving.
say for sure.
Turning off.
Right. Wow. Fuck you. What a goddamn circus.
Turning off.
Well, that was nerve-wracking.
Taking command.
So much for the plan to board. I hate you all. I really do.
Receiving. Moving now. Moving now.
That would be a good catch, too. I'm not so sure I'm ready for open war with the lightning hoods. And these boys are bankrupt. Might as well
Moving now. Moving now.
go this way.
Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Listening. Moving out. Listening.
Frick my life. Some dodgy salvage there.
Receiving. Moving
I don't know
now.
what these guys are even
Moving
doing.
now. Moving now. Listening. Listening.
So I did see a capture zone there. But it doesn't look like buildings are there. Unless you can do a secondary capture within here, like you can from here onto land.
Listening. Receiving. Listening.
Not the most thrilling battles, these ones. The classic Icarus story. I just realized I'm basically able, because gravity actually has less effect at high altitudes, if I hold the jump button, I'm not even descending, I'm just kind of floating along, I think. I can just spacewalk across the map. Nobody got time for that.
Moving now. Moving now. Moving now.
That's gonna annoy me forever.
Receiving.
Okay.
Receiving.
You gonna share with these guys? Dope.
Receiving.
I think they might have just enough, and I haven't saved the campaign yet, it occurs to me. Not this version of it, anyway. I think they might just have enough resources to go after that outpost over here.
Receiving. Moving now.
Okay. So wait, is the Sin Eater the suicide bomber? Because if it is, that's a 40,000 resource unit. At 177 speed, I'm kind of thinking that's what it is. It has like pure rocket propulsion.
Listening.
Ooh, maybe I can make my way to those resources and pick them up myself. No, I didn't get the altitude before I jumped. Gravity has me. No. Yay. He's sure taking his time to die. Yeah, I really wouldn't mind a fast forward for occasions like this. Or maybe I just need to get into developing armed satellites. Yeah. So every time he does that, he's blowing 40,000 resources, and he only took not even a quarter off of an 18,000 resource ship. Only if the ground ship is involved in this battle. If I left a ship underneath the satellite for cover, then yeah, it would be fine, but because the satellite is isolated, there's no one else involved on my side.
Receiving. Receiving.
So once you're in the battle, it's like instanced, and everything else pretty well stops existing. Yeah, it occurred to me I had commodities, so I could also share resources to these guys that I have picked up. Being the incompetent bunglers they are.
Receiving. Moving now. Moving now.
Oh. So a big old ship called the Deliverance. And I can't check the name of the other one, but whatever their resource builder is. 189. Peninsula Resource Strip Miners.
Receiving. Moving now. Receiving.
So yeah, with all of these guys in, I can freely port to any of them.
Receiving. 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 Receiving.
Right.
Receiving.
Okay.
Receiving.
Yeah.
Receiving.
Hopefully I can rush him with this.
Turning off.
And I was a bit premature. And erased half my own ship. Like a fucking idiot.
Receiving.
Cool.
Receiving. 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 Turning off.
Of course, this is the ship he's chasing. This is my valuable ship.
Taking command.
Yeah. Not going so hot on the captures this round. Although they've also been much less bold overall. Last time I couldn't keep them off of me. Great. My frame rates are really shitting. Well, it's more like I would need to make something. Like, I would have to have a ramming model, which I do, just not spawned. Because otherwise, as you saw with the one version of that, I will end up getting hurt if I hit them. You can avoid collision damage with lead armor, actually. But it's also notoriously weak. No, 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 no. Ugh. Trying to not think about how much damage this thing is doing to my ships out there while I'm screwing around. There's a little bit of resources to pay back to my dudes. Great sum or something.
Receiving. Moving now. Listening. Receiving. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Moving now.
Oh. What the hell's a piercer? 200,000. Joy to the world. This guy's still not even built.
Receiving. Moving now. Moving now.
Should probably just go ahead and bump that fleet rate up here before doing anything else at this rate.
Receiving. 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 Receiving.
Not a fan of how those missiles bounce off my own deck, though. Oh, now I remember this guy. Tested against him in Designer, and basically he one-shots a pyramid with a laser. Or not one-shots, but close. And he reverses fast enough that even trying to jump on top of him doesn't work. We're like, Hopefully that's disabled. Gutting them better than I thought. Also emptier inside than I thought. Ha! Suck my ass. With 139 to spare. Hello! What is the good word?
Receiving. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Receiving. Listening.
Definitely gonna start pairing my satellites with attack towers or something.
Listening.
Is Helios someone I know?
Receiving. Moving now. Moving now. Listening. Receiving. Receiving. Moving now.
You know, maybe?
Receiving. Moving now. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Receiving.
Guess not.
Receiving. Receiving. Receiving.
Kind of assumed by the way he said that it was someone familiar. computer is running like shit today. Oh. Oh, I might know why. No, it's on high performance. Down with the graphics.
Receiving.
I mean, we're all friends here. Come on. Wow. And whoever it was, I haven't seen the name before. I don't think. Unless they've stopped in one of the previous streams. But it's not like I've had so many people that I can't remember who I've talked to. At least I hope not. I know my brain is pretty sketch.
Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now.
Well, now that's gonna haunt me forever.
Receiving. Moving now.
Oh, we're actually seeing another faction. Okay, this is gonna be gross, because the Charon is the one that attacked my capital last time, and I know he throws a lot of torpedoes.
Receiving.
Yeah, I had that guy from, what was it, Denmark, tune in the one day, and he was talkative. But then, oh, it was just because I'm so irregular, but I haven't seen him since. Wouldn't be a surprise if it is my own fault, because with going back to work, then that threw off what I thought was going to be a pretty steady routine.
Receiving. 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 Receiving.
No, damn you. No. Why does it never work? Yeah. I mean, it takes that long just to kind of half figure out one of them. Oh, I've also just been otherwise distracted lately. Like, mentally very restless on and off.
Taking command. Taking
I've
command.
had days where I can't even just sit and watch a movie because then I keep tabbing out and doing other shit.
Turning off. Taking command.
Oh, low-key disaster. Was it like
Turning off.
he said something and I didn't see it in time, maybe? Like, was there a delay between when the message went through and when I replied? Because I think I'm seeing chats mostly very quick, but I can't be sure. I know there's a delay from me to you guys. And a delay between my frames. Well, I mean, that sounds pretty much like what the stall is half the time, so you factor in the fact that my responses don't even get to you until 20 seconds on a good day, or 15 seconds up to 30 seconds. Let's see what they say here. They told me it's oh my fucking god. Well, he had his shit all packed together tight. Good to know it's not just me who's prone to Death Star reactions.
Moving now. Moving now. Listening. Moving out.
I think I need a second remediator to up the repairs. That way then they can repair each other.
Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now.
Actually, now that I think about it, the name is familiar. I do think I have seen him, but I don't think it's someone I knew from off of here. What is going on here?
Receiving.
Give me the resource, damn ye.
Listening.
This is dumb. What the fuck is a dragon's claw?
Listening. Moving out.
Can't even see this thing. Oh, it's stretching something. Kind of looks like their shittiest, worst design yet. And not that their designs are all bad, but this one is bad.
Receiving. Moving now. Moving now. Receiving.
I don't know why this stupid bastard's not getting anything.
Listening. Listening.
He should... Oh, maybe if I do that. Okay.
Moving now. Moving now. Moving now.
And...
Receiving.
Then he should be sharing the materials, I would hope.
Receiving.
Guess not.
Moving now.
Well, they're about to declare any day now. Although it is now 10 o'clock. Started slightly later than I intended. But I do still need a shower and it's coming up on bedtime, so. This is where we'll put it for today.
Receiving. Moving now.
Oof.
Listening.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Schedule's clear. I would probably otherwise just Netflix or play a different game, so I'll figure out the time as I go. Probably like 10 o'clock in the morning. Surprised I actually remembered to keep the music off so we don't get all the sound taken out. Alright, well I'll wait till you get up then. It's not like I will know when that is. Thanks you for tuning in. And the whole one other person we got. Alright, well. See you then.